Hello and welcome to Watkins Woodworking. My name is Mitchell and this is my shop. This is my first video back on YouTube in a while, and this bench is what I've made so far. The most important thing, a lot of people say it's your table saw, but I think it's actually your workbench. Because if you don't have one, you know you need one really bad. And this is how I made mine. Okay, so I think we're ready. Stuff I ordered for Amazon are feet, which are you screw into the bottom, and they are adjustable. They go into these right here, and you can make them any height you want. So that's good. Got those. We got some 2x4s for the spans. We got some 1x4 slats, I think, for the bottom storage area. And then we have this giant old door that we're going to repurpose for the top of our workbench. So we'll build a workbench, we'll put these underneath it, and we will level it to my concrete slab, and I will keep it level. And it is solid. It's got veneer on it, but it's pretty solid, so it'll work for a while. So let's get to it. First things first. Oh, I didn't even bring. I was about to say, probably need the legs. 4x4 for the legs. Just some scrap 4x4s that are not being used. That one's treated, that one's not. It doesn't matter because we're not going to go outside with it. And that will solve, well, mostly, my working area. Because obviously this and that is not the best. So, here we go. First thing we're going to do is we'll cut up these 4x4s. I cut these to 3 feet. I can always cut them off more. I can't cut them off less. We got my my supporting table right here. It's not really a supporting table. In case you don't know, I like to joke around quite a bit. So the first thing we got to do is we got to nip the tip. We got to cut it off to where it's square. I know one of these is angled at like 10 or 15 degrees.
Can you see it?
Not really. There's one leg. We got these 2x4s from Pallets, and as you can see, they are very warped and twisted, but I don't think I want to use these for my frame. We're gonna have to use the 2x4s, I guess, which is not a big deal. It's just frustrating that I spent a lot of time pulling out nails getting this ready. So the next step is we're going to pull the door down, we're going to slap it on the ground, and then we're going to start measuring 2x4s to make a frame for it. Let's do that. So we got our door, we got some 2x4s for the spans, we got some 4x4s for the legs. So now we just need to decide on how far in we want our lip to go, because I'm going to be putting a lot of clamps on these, and I don't want to put this all the way up to the edge because then my clamp will have to be 3.5 inch longer, so I don't want to do that, but clamping onto the solid wood door is going to be good enough. So I just need to find out how deep I want this to go, and every inch I go in, I'm losing a little bit of table stability. So I mean, I don't think it's going to fall over, but I do want it to be stable. This is my biggest clamp. Well, not my biggest, but my biggest depth clamp. But it only needs 2-inch grab. So basically I should go 2-inch. I should go 2-inch on each side, and that will ensure that my good strong clamps will be able to grab any part around the table. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is the bottom of the table, and I don't care if it gets marks or not. Just taking my large speed square and measuring out 2 inches with my engineer square, and mark it up. And there we go. So we know where the inside of this is going to be. What I'm going to do is I'm measuring from the edge to that edge, or that line, and I'm going to subtract 1.5 and 1.5 and 2 inches. So that's 1.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm subtracting 5 inches from 77 3/8. 72 3/8 is what I'm going to cut this one to. So we have our table frame. It's not screwed in yet, but I do have one issue. A little bit of bowing in this one, and one thing I do want to do is make sure the bow goes into the table bow bend, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so it's still completely flat. The others are fine, I've tested them. So now we're just going to use this questionable Bessie square clamp. Try to make these as square as possible because it's important. Okay, so I have 3 corners screwed in, pretty much 90 degrees. Problem is, this one's not coming together at 90 degrees. And I know why, because the first one I had a problem with, and it's off a degree or 2, and this one's off a degree or 2. So put 2 and 2 together and you get one crooked board. I was wondering why I didn't use these 2x4s earlier. This one has a bend in it, and I don't know exactly how I could fix that. I mean, I could, you know, spend some time and clamp it to this one and, you know, try to pull it into alignment, but bad thing is, this is the side that I want my front to be, and I want that to have a good board. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw this in just at whatever the measurements came out to. So that'll be flush. And then I'm going to pick it up, I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So this is going to be my good front board. This is going to be my back board that I don't really care about, because that's the back of my bench and this is the front of my bench. And I'm going to say problem solved and move on. These are 2.5-inch indoor screws. I like to go halfway in with one and then all the way in with the other and then go back to the first one. I don't know why. Feels like I would get better alignment out of that. So now I'm going to rotate it. Pocket holes. These are 2x4s, so they are 1.5 inch actual. You want to set your depth for your bit. You need your drill, which is over there. And you want to set this to 1.5. So I'm going to set it right here. I'm going to clamp it down with a clamp that I haven't got either. It's around here somewhere, up there, because I cleaned up. And I'm going to slap 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. I think I'll go 1, 2, 3. Got pocket holes in that board, this board, and that board. And I'm working on this board that I was having a problem with earlier. It has the bend in it that I was talking about. So what I did was grab the bar clamp, luckily I have them, and I just pulled it in to where I needed it to be, 2 inches. So it's in 2 inches. Now I'm going to slap in 4 pocket holes, and then that frame will be done, and then I'm going to slap the legs on there, and we'll go from there. One thing about the pocket hole is it's really easy to slip one way or the other. And it actually slipped, and I didn't notice when I cleaned out the dust and put it on the next one. Clamped to the next one, and it wasn't set in right, but it felt like it did. So, see, you could go up a notch, and there's not a notch there. So I started drilling, and then the next thing you know, black plastic was coming out of it. So I actually drilled a little bit into the back of it, which is no big deal. But just a reminder, whenever you have this one, always double check correct notch before you clamp it down every time. That's the only bad thing about this. I mean, other than that, it works perfectly fine. There's a lot of wobble. Maybe the quick bit, I mean, I have a quick release. That could be plenty of wobble right there. So I don't know if that's a good idea to use it, but it's working, so I'm not gonna change anything. Here's one end. It's got 3 screws on this side, 3 screws on this side, dodging the screws that are right here, this 2x4 with the butt joint going that way. And it is pretty sturdy. Right now it's 90 and 90. So, whew. All right, that was a lot of work, but I got 4 mostly 90-degree legs. I told you I was going to do a lap joint, but that ain't going to happen. No, this is perfectly fine. It's going to work fine. Next step is I want to run some spans, runners, whatever you want to call them, all the way across. I'm going to run them on the inside. Got a 2x4 here, 2x4 there, going across here. You know, I think I will do the inside first. It'll make the longer versions much easier, and I will just lay them on top of the other ones. I measured 30 inches from the bottom of the shelf upwards. 30 inches. And then I marked the lines. Then I took a tape measure from here to here, because now we're not doing theoretical measurements, we're doing actual measurements. So this span was 24 3/8. And then I did the same on this side, and this is 24 3/4. After struggling with that side, I came over to this side and tried to think of something a little bit better, which is this. You clamp it on the line you want to put it on, and make sure your clamps are square. Just line it up, push it against this side, square, and then clamp it in on the other side, and it'll be automatic. And then you just put this up here, right? Of course, you need your other clamps. take your board, put it on top of both of those, square it up, flush on both sides, get some pressure on that side. Now you can take these off. Look, you can see your line on that side, and you can see your line on that side, and it is perfectly level, according to your line that you made. So just for a little bit extra support, put another clamp for when I drill in. So yeah, that's your clamping technique for the day. All right, got those in. I want to flip this bad boy over, put the long running 2x4s on top of these two, screw them in. But I need help to flip this thing over. So let's go see if I can find somebody. Man, I almost forgot. Now would be the perfect time to get these in here. Got to drill a hole, slap these in here, screw these in. These will make my bench level no matter what. There we go. It is a little bit higher than I anticipated, but I'm glad it's this high because I have back problems and I need something to really lean on and work up here in this area. The feet, I did grab them and put them in really fast. I had help come over and flip it over with me, and then we just finished off the bottom, and I'll show you in a second. But I'm going to show you when the legs were up, technique, put your square across the diagonal, mark it, and then you go on the other diagonal and you mark it. You find yourself the middle of the 4x4 or whatever you're marking. Then I used, what is this, 29/64 bit, and I flagged it for the depth of the screw in for the feet. So I just drilled this straight in and stopped at the flag. Then I just used my mallet, hammered in the threaded, whatever they're called, spiky things, threaded holes, and then put the feet in with the nuts on them so they can stop at any height individually. Then we flipped it over, and I will show you the bottom. So when we had it flipped over, we had these braces on the legs, and it's just screwed in with 2 screws right now. I could put more in if I want to, maybe 4, but 2's enough. And then after we flipped it over, we got the feet in and we flipped it over, put these long pieces just right on top of these. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take some of those pallet boards and place them across here, build a little shelf. And then up here, I think I'm going to practice my drawers. So I'm going to come up with a project for drawers and get some drawers in here, and I will have tons of storage. At least my tools don't have to live on the floor anymore. They'll be happy, and I'll be happy. I won't have to bend down so far. We got ourselves a nice sturdy table. I can adjust the feet to make it level and adjust the height a little bit, a couple inches. But overall, crawling on the ground, not that great, but now I can work my level. It is 38 degrees outside. I'm going to do my best to level this. I don't know how level this is. Let's go ahead and zero it out. How level is the door? 0.3, 0. 0, 0.2. It looks like there's a high spot right here. Oh, now it's 0. .45, 0, 0.45, okay, well it said 0.35 and now it says 0. Now it says 0.2. It just takes a while to settle down, I guess. So if I turn it off and turn it back on, see how level we can get the table. We need to bring up this side toward the garage door because that does slope downward away from the house, as it's supposed to. Yeah. That one's a little bit more than this one. Yeah, so that corner needs to be raised a lot. Well, I say a lot. I wonder how level it is this way. The back needs to be raised up. Alright, so I'm going to make some adjustments and go from there. So we're going to level this bench. And the best way to do it that I know how is I've screwed in the feet all the way to make it as low as possible because it is high bench. I can cut off the legs and just put the feet back in if I wanted to make it lower, but I like this height because I have back issues. You're going to find out the highest part of your shop or your garage, and the highest, most of the house is that direction, so this foot right here is the highest foot. So what I've already done is taken my digital and my bubble level, and I leveled this side. So we're gonna, this is our origin, right? So we're gonna use this and we're gonna level sideways and make sure this is level, which it is 0. So I've screwed out the back leg over here to make it level with this leg. So now we're gonna still use this as the origin. We're going to go this direction, and this says it is 0.45. The left side is high. Obviously, it's the highest part. So left side is high, almost half an inch. So I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to screw it out until that becomes level, and then this will be like that. But once I do this, so I know that that is level with this and this is level with this, then I do sideways this way and long ways that way for that leg, and hopefully everything will work out to 90, 90, 90. Or 0, 0, 0, however you want to look at it. Quick note, if your floor is sloping several degrees, you're going to get a wobble. Right here, it's not, I'm not actually level, I'm not measuring that to this, I'm measuring that to these two because it's falling that way basically. So I need to go back there, I need to unscrew that one, catch it up with this one, and then keep going with this one. So the next thing is get my tools off the floor, and for that we're going to go underneath. And I've got these. Used my reciprocating saw on some pallets, ripped these off and salvaged them. Some of these are longer than others. Not all pallets are the same. Still has nails in them. These are too long. I'd like to use these, but these are nice. I could actually use these for like hanging signs or whatever. Put some words or whatever on them and hang them up, make them decorations and sell them off. Actually, the perfect amount. Those were all from 2 pallets that were pretty much identical. Okay, so now we're going to need your speed square, need your tape measure. We're going to measure this. We're going to count up our things. We're going to divide. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to put it about an inch apart, and then we're going to screw it in with 1-inch screws. Screw it in with 1-inch screws because these are 3/4 inch thick. So that'll give us a 1/4 inch all the way in, and they're not going to move. Supposedly. Don't kick them. So if you don't trust yourself, make sure you flag your bit. Don't dig too deep. We all know what happens when you dig too deep. Alright, so I drilled them all, making sure I didn't move them. So hope I can put them all in without messing them up. And there we have it. We got ourselves a nice little shelf that will not only provide storage for my tools, my power tools, but provides a lot of stability between the 2 spans. Alright, so there you have it. All my tools are off the floor. Got a nice good bench to work with for future projects. I mean, I couldn't really be happier right now. It was super easy to build, a lot of work, but mostly free. I just paid for some 2x4s, which was like 5, 10, 15, 20. So basically 20 bucks. And breaking down some pallets and getting some 4x4s for free and a door. I don't know if I'm going to slap a piece of plywood up there, but I can always do that in the future. But other than that, it's level, it's pretty much flat and sturdy, and got extra storage. Future project, gonna add some drawers on both sides. Yeah, extra little storage because now I have the big stuff off the floor. I need lots of little stuff put away and labeled so I know where it is, and quick put it in, quick pull it out kind of thing. So yeah. So that was a pretty easy build, a lot of work, but I hope you learned something or got motivated to build your own workbench and start working out in the garage and making things with your own hands. Be sure to leave a like, a subscribe, and a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And until next time, I'll see you later. Who doesn't put their clamps away? This guy. We're going to start. That was the loudest, slowest truck I've ever heard.